Beginning this Friday, we are going to see January 23rd. Boxing is taking new ground, turning a new page. And this is going to be when, after so much talk, after so much interesting debate back and forth, Zuffa Boxing will launch on Paramount Plus, and it's going to bring its first card, but we had been forewarned that this was going to take place. Who knows how it's going to turn out, but we're here for the ride. Let's talk about Zuffa Boxing, their first card, what we may witness, what we hope, and what is going to be. Zuffa Boxing. That is what's coming up. And are we prepared for what's going to take place? All I know is I love the sport, but I don't like the direction it's been headed in with these promoters who have been kind of dragging their heels when it comes to the fight cards that they've been putting on. And so Zuffa will have its first card Friday, January 23rd. And headlining will be Callum Walsh from the UK taking on Carlos Ocampo. These are names that we have seen before in the sport, but not under these auspices. What we're going to see is the first Zuffa Boxing fight card headed up by Dana White. And there will be changes. This one may look a lot like everything else that we have seen up to this point. But going forward, there have been conversations about changing the ring. There have been conversations about how the fighters will be featured, because we want to see the best fighting the best. And that's the advertisement for what Zuffa Boxing will be bringing. There are tons of promoters, fighters, managers who are railing against what we're going to see. But I'm going to tell you something. If this is what it needs to happen to light the fire under the sport so that we can get the proper boxing, I'm all for that. You see, this card is going to take place at the Meta Apex in Las Vegas. And like I said, the promoter is Dana White. This is a headlining card for their opening. Callum Walsh taking on Carlos Ocampo. Two fighters in the middleweight division that we are familiar with if you follow the sport of boxing. Now Walsh, who is an Irishman, fighting out of Ireland. He's 24 years of age, nicknamed King. Record is 15-0 with 11 KOs. This Irishman is a southpaw fighter who's 5'9" with a 71.5-inch reach. Now I'm going to tell you something about the fighters that come out of Ireland. A lot of times, they're good. Sometimes, they're more tough than good. But when you put them in an opportunity to be showcased, they will never back down from a challenge. And as we've seen in the past, fighters like Walsh, again, don't get it misconstrued. He's ready. His most recent fight was a September 2025 match against Fernando Vargas Jr. Yeah, that Fernando Vargas. And he fought him on the undercard of Terence Crawford's challenge of Canelo Alvarez's undisputed super middleweight title. He defeated Fernando Vargas unanimously, where in a 10-rounder, he outboxed, outclever, outfought Fernando Vargas. This was a fight going in that some people had said they didn't think that Vargas was prepared for the likes of Walsh. And he wasn't. But it was an opportunity for Vargas to try to step up because he brought an undefeated record in as well. But you could see the difference between someone being fed light opposition and then someone facing real, true opposition that allows them to grow with the sport. And so now, Walsh steps up against Carlos Ocampo. And in this main event, he's taking on this veteran fighter who has 3 losses on his record out of 38 wins with 26 KOs. Ocampo is a Mexican fighter, and he's 30 years of age now, having been stopped twice in his 3 losses. The 2 defeats where he was stopped were losses against, most recently, Tim Tszyu, which was in June of 2023, where he lost in a first-round blitz where they fought in Tim Tszyu's home country. Now, the first loss on his record goes all the way back to June of 2018, when he brought his undefeated record of 23-0 against Errol Spence Jr. That was for the IBF title, and that was also a first-round stoppage. Now, what that tells you simply is Ocampo lost to two world titleists that were in the prime of what they do, and he lost by KO in the first round in both affairs. That third loss happened to be a fight where he lost a unanimous decision back in October of 2022 against Sebastian Fundora. Now, interestingly, Ocampo was able to handle staying alive against the 6'6" Fundora, who also at the time was not settled quite into the possibilities of what he could achieve, because he would go on to stop Tim Tszyu himself in 2 battles. So again, a lot of times when you think about the fighters and the whole round robin of who faced who, a lot of times you can face someone and catch them at a certain time and catch them vulnerable, or catch them when they're on a streak, and vice versa. It really doesn't mean anything except for the night of. So, as Ocampo comes in against the young, spry Walsh, he has veteran experience that could be on display. But I'm going to tell you something. The Mexican in Ocampo will make him fight with a lot of aggression, and he'll bring that sense of warrior spirit. But Callum Walsh is not going to back down from that. And he is going to go right into the fray against Ocampo. And at 24 and 15 wins, no losses, he's youthful and he doesn't know how to lose. So you can expect a real battle here. I like that, and I like to see what can happen potentially with this entire card when we talk about what's going on with Zuffa boxing. Because also on this card, we'll see the fight that a lot of people may not necessarily be triggered for, but we're going to see the likes of Misael Rodriguez Olivas taking on Austin Dionata, and we're going to see Kane Sandoval taking on Julian Rodriguez. We're talking about a host of undefeated fighters here coming out on this card. And there's a reason for that, because we're going to see, again, according to Zuffa Boxing, they're putting these fighters in a position to fight the best of competition, because if they've got what it takes, they're going to press forward and be successful. If they do not have what it takes, what you're going to see is the exposure of what the truth is about said individuals. All of that I can get with, and I look forward to this card. It'll begin roughly around 4:30 Central Time and Paramount Plus. Be looking for it. As I think about Walsh and Ocampo, I expect Walsh to come out with flying colors. I expect him to defeat Ocampo. But whether it be by knockout or if it's just going to be him beating up the elder fighter, who knows? But tune in and find out. Because at the end of the day, it's quality boxing. But what do you think? This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know what your overall thoughts are about this Zuffa fight card. And do you think that it's going to take off? Leave comments and let's discuss further. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.